Yaroslav, you're back in action in Dublin in February. It's great to see you back in the cage. Take us back to February. You're preparing to fight MVP in London, and suddenly the Russian invasion turns everything upside down. You decide to stay and defend your country. Was it an easy decision to stay and defend?
Приветствую.
At first it was very chaotic. I mean, nobody really knew what's going on, and you just kind of lost there for a while, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if there is tomorrow. Once things kind of, I wouldn't say settled, but once everybody figured out what's going on, of course, the number one priority was to get his family out to safety. Once he did, him and the friends joined in defense of their city and then eventually their country. So yes, it wasn't a very hard decision. No.
We've all seen the brilliant video you posted, rescuing your belt in Irpin. How special a moment was there for you to have, and especially to share it with your fellow soldiers?
Когда это все происходило в нашем городе,
When the war first started, and I was in the trenches, I didn't really think about belts or careers or if I'm ever going to fight again. There just wasn't the time. But as we liberated my city and then central Ukraine from Russian occupation, I kind of started thinking, hey, I'm probably gonna get back to training and fighting. Kind of you start to think about what you've had in life before all of this started. And he was talking to his mom, and she happened to tell him where she stashed the belt. So they decided to go back and climb through the ruins, as you saw in the clip, and free up his belt. And he was very excited, to be able to get the belt, B, that his friends were there with him. They were all cheering him on, and they all wanted him to continue to fight. And then once they liberated central Ukraine from Russian occupation, things kind of started, I guess, sort of going back to normal as people are more used to it with the war. So they actually organized training camp, him and his friends, right there in Ukraine, and started to get back in shape, because obviously in the beginning everybody was very stressed and training wasn't an option. They were fighting, so things kind of got back to normalcy.
And now you are returning to the cage. You've said things calmed down slightly, and now is the right time. How much have you missed fighting? It's been a long time, like June 2021 since your last fight. How much have you missed being in action?
Да, действительно этого не хватало, потому что я уже.
A lot. I missed it. I mean, I haven't fought in a year and a half. And obviously I love fighting. I miss it, but more so, I'm looking forward to raising Ukrainian flag once I win, and defend my belt and bring it back to Ukraine, and just show people that things are normalizing, things are moving forward, and just give them a little hope, maybe even distract them a little bit from everything going on, and be able to celebrate with him.
Dublin has a very special atmosphere for Bellator events. In the last year or two, a lot of worldwide names have come to fight. You've got Pitbull, Benson Henderson, Gegard Mousasi, and Joe Romero recently. How excited are you to fight in front of that Dublin crowd?
He said, I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Ireland, never been to Dublin, so I'm looking forward to checking out the city and checking out the culture. But also, I've seen in Bellator videos, how crazy the crowd there is and how much energy it has. And I love it because I draw energy from the crowd. And he said, most memorable, of course, was the Peter Queally walkout when the crowd was singing along with his song, and there was just so much energy that I was able to absorb that energy, even though he wasn't, they weren't singing for me. So I'm definitely looking forward to fighting in front of that crowd.
Your opponent in Dublin will be Logan Storley, who won the interim championship in May against MVP. You obviously beat him before, but he's on a 3-fight win streak since you defeated him. What are your thoughts on that fight, and is he a worthy contender for your belt?
Мне очень нравится его стиль ведения боя.
He said, well, he's an interim champion, so of course he's a worthy opponent and he deserves it. He said, so that's the guy I'm going to be fighting. Personally, I think it should have been Jason Jackson that held the interim title, and probably more deserving, so to speak, of a title shot. But Logan Storley is the one who fought MVP. He's the one who's an interim champ, so that's the guy I'm fighting. Last time I beat him, it was a split decision. I had some problems in the camp, and it affected my conditioning. So this time will be a different fight. I'm preparing for a different fight, and you guys will see.
You currently have the longest active win streak in MMA with 26-0 record. How proud are you of this, and is getting to 30-0 something that is beyond your mind?
I
don't think about my record at all. My record means nothing to me. What I think about is that I have an opponent and that I need to train for, and I'd like to win. So I think about victories, and then how that affects my record. I don't think about that. It doesn't matter if I'm 26-0 or 50-0. My goal is to win the fight.
You mentioned earlier your wish to raise the Ukrainian flag in Dublin in February. On the night, it'll almost be a year since the Russian invasion. How significant of a moment will that be for the people back home in Ukraine, the Ukrainians that have come here to Ireland, and Ukrainians all over Europe to see you lifting your title and lifting the flag once again in the cage?
He said, when I got the contract, that was the first thing that came to mind, is that, I went back and remembered what was happening a year ago. So it's very important to me. It's very important to me that people don't forget what's going on. It's very important to me people don't forget how sudden and aggressive it was, that people don't forget about people dying. He wants it to end the sooner the better, to spare people's lives. Obviously, he believes in the victory of the country, and that Ukraine will prevail and be able to defend itself and liberate itself. But also, he wants to make sure that he sends the message for the world not to forget what's going on there and support what's going on in Ukraine, because today it's Ukraine, tomorrow it could be somebody else.
Obviously, Ireland is a big football country like Ukraine. Would you love to hear some shouts of Dynamo, Dynamo in the Dublin arena in February?
He said, I welcome any form of support, whatever they want to shout, as long as it's supporting me.
Yaroslav, it's been great talking to you. It's brilliant to see you back in action, and I look forward to talking to you in Dublin.
Спасибо.
Thank you.